what is kernel and all. So kernel is set of executables which are used for administration of SAP system, start, stop, handling connections, executing SAP programs, all those things. Basically, the kernel upgrade is of simply 3 steps. One is pre-steps, another one is activity, the third one is post-steps. So let's see the pre-steps first. So first we have to see what is our kernel version. So let me log in into my system. My system is 1.75, which is NWD, sorry 1.47. So I'm creating a login entry. So logged into the system. You can log in into any client. Usually we log in into business client to check the current version, but I don't have 100 client credentials, so I'm trying to log in 000 as this is practice server. So we'll go to system status. Basically we have 3 ways to identify the kernel version. So this is the first step, system status, and here basically you can see the version of a product. This is network 7.5, installation details and operating system, database and all. After all we need here is kernel. So here this we call it as other kernel information. By clicking here you can see the current kernel version. The current kernel is 749 and the patch number is 500. So let's take a snip of this. As a pre-step we have to take screenshot of few things like this. So take this with the time, the better thing is, so we'll take it with the time. So it is done. So make a document. Companies may give you SOPs, which is called standard operation procedure, or you can create like this. So the current kernel version is noted here, that is 749 and the patch is 500. Basically we are going to update this patch from 500 to the latest version. We'll discuss it later. So another version, another method is SM51. One is system status other kernel information. The second one is SM51 and release notes. SM51 and release notes. So you can see here the kernel patch number, kernel and all platform, what it is, like it is Windows or Linux, something like that. You can check all the things. So again I have taken the screen. So while taking the screenshot, remember one thing, you should have some proof, like this is today's so on so date, so on so time screen, like that. So I'm taking, that's why I'm taking with time. So OS level you have an option called disp plus work. Usually the kernel path is this is called global kernel path. We'll discuss it in next screen. So SAP MNT SID exe. So you can call from anywhere the disp plus work, but you should have login of SID ADM. So I'm running disp plus work. So see here, this is giving patch number 500. So let's take a screenshot of this as well and put it here for your future references. So these are the 3 steps which we are going to do to check kernel version. If you have SAP access, you can check in 2 ways. If you have OS access only, you don't have SAP access, you can check OS level also. It's up to you. So the step 1 is done. Into pre-step. The step 2 is to which version kernel we are going. This is the main thing. So into marketplace, as of now I don't have marketplace access. So in the marketplace, go to software downloads, for it later in another topic. So marketplace, software downloads, support pack and patches. So here you have 2 options. Normally you will be having installation related and support pack and patches. So we are doing not installation here, we are doing some upgrade of one component like kernel upgrade. So go to support pack and patches, kernel, and choose the correct kernel version, like is it 64-bit or 32-bit, non-Unicode or Unicode. All these things you can check from here. Even if you want to check again, you can go to system status. You can check here whether your system is Unicode or not. Like that, you have to decide the correct kernel. After that, the suggestible thing every company follow is latest market version minus 1 we have to do. If suppose in my kernel 749, let us consider I have some version 1000. In 749 I have some version number 500 now, and the latest is something like not latest, after 500 suppose they have released 600, 700, 800, 900 and 1000. So the latest is 1000 here. So n-1 means the before version 900 version we have to use. This is the procedure we follow because the latest version may have some bugs. Because of this, we may have some production issues again. Again, we have to connect SAP. These all things will come. That's the reason. Already for 900, the issues may come. SAP already resolved the issues. So we get some solutions immediately. That is the reason. Most of the cases, if SAP is not suggesting any hot fixes, like if suppose in 900 some bugs are there because of the some malware attacks can happen, you should go to 1000. Like that, they will release some high level security nodes, which is called high CVSS nodes or something like that. So if you get that kind of nodes, you have to must and should go for a latest versions, or else you will go n-1. So now the version is fixed. Now version is done. So usually we use two files to perform kernel upgrade. One is sap.exe.sar, another one is sap.exe.db.sar. So usually we call these files as db independent and db dependent files. Let's see which is a db independent and which is db dependent. So you can, by seeing the name itself, you can see db is there in some file which is db dependent. Where db is not there, that is db independent file, which contains SAP application related files, related kernel files. Example for those are, like you can say start SAP, stop SAP. These all comes under kernel only. Example, few examples. If my interview may ask you few example for kernel files: start SAP, stop SAP, R3 trans. Like that, we have many. So DB dependent. Let us consider Oracle, which is having a huge market in SAP. For that, if you consider, you can observe BR star files like BR backup, BR archive. Like that, we will be having some files which are DB dependent. In case of Oracle, these are the files. In case of HANA related files will come here. So according to your database, the files will appear there. So this is about the two files. So let's see. I have already those files in my kernel, some latest version, not latest. This is a new version than 500. I have 600 version files here. Let's see how to upgrade from 500 to 600. So initially I have to copy those files here. So to check where we are in Linux, pwd present working directory. So I'm somewhere in this path. Leave it. So cdexe will guide you directly to global kernel path. So I'm just going one step back till you see I'm going, and I'm checking the kernel path. I have some. This is the our global kernel path. We'll see what is global and local kernel path. So in kernel, you can see. So the global kernel path is SAP-MNT SID exe Linux 8664. So with SID ADM also we can use CDXE to directly go to that path. So kernel local path, which is USR SAP SID D instance number exe. ENN is like instance number. ఇది మన instance number. Okay. So usually మనకేంటంటే నార్మల్ స్టాండర్డ్ ఇన్స్టాలేషన్లో ప్రైమరీ అప్లికేషన్ సర్వర్, అడిషనల్ అప్లికేషన్ సర్వర్ అని ఉంటాయి. సారీ, అబాప్ సెంట్రల్ సర్వీసెస్ అని ఉంటాయి. సో Primary application contains one local kernel path. Web central services contains one local kernel path. So when we do kernel upgrade in global path, from this global path to these local paths, the kernel files will be copied by using a service called SAP CPE. So interviewer may ask you like, I have 5 application servers. How you will do kernel? I will do in global path only. Then I will use SAP CP service to copy from global path to all local applications. Usually when you start SAP, it will work. Whenever it is not working like that, we will use the command SAP CP pf equals to the profile path of instance profile like usr SAP SID sys profile. And after that, what is the profile, what is the particular application I want to copy? That application profile, app profile. By giving like this, you can copy the kernel from global path to local path. So this we'll see later. So as of now, I have to upload the kernel files. So I'll create a new folder by using mkdir command kernel underscore 600 I'm giving. Let's see this. I created it. So I need to copy the files to here. So I have my kernel files here in desktop. So we'll see how to copy that. I use a tool called WinSCP. You may use FileZilla in your companies, or some companies may use other method called FTP, or one Linux server to another Linux server by using SCP. It's up to your company situations. 1.47 my server details. So username. In companies you may not use root. Here I am using root because I have. So in this path, you just observe what is this path. SAP MNT SID exe UC. So go to see SAP MNT. Any time this slash root only, you have to go to check the folders. See SAP MNT SID exe UC. There you have kernel 600. In this side, in my desktop, I put some folder called kernel 600. Where it is? This is the one. So select the two files, copy, just drag to this side. The files will be copied. Just come and check here. Just navigate to kernel 600 folder. You can check by using pwd also. ls-l. Check here. See, this is saying file part, which means the file is not completely copied. So you should not do anything here till this proper copy is completed, because some part only came. If you don't copy it properly, you may have some issue in kernel upgrade and your system will not come up properly. This is the thing you have to remember. Now once this copy is done, we can go with next step. Let's see what is the next step. Anyways, it is copying, so we can see the next step. Unzip the new files using SAP Care. So I need SAP Care. Either I can download latest SAP Care from marketplace, or I can use existing SAP Care. So I told some time back few files here, few things here like kernel files. You can note down this thing. SAP Care is also a kernel file. So you can bring that also. Just go to that kernel path, existing kernel path, and copy the SAP Care to our new kernel path, which means in a diagrammatic way I will explain you. So your path is SAP MNT, your kernel path, SID exe, or exactly our situation will discuss NWD exe UC or UC small and Linux 86 underscore 64. So from this path to I have to move this path SAP MNT SID exe uc and linux 600. This is my new path which I created. Technically, if you see, the path is like this thing: SAP MNT NWD EXE UC. After that, you have one folder called Linux 86 underscore 64, another path called Linux 600. So from this path to this path, you have to copy the first that SAP car file. So by using commands only we have to do in Linux, right? So the command is cp you can use. So from this path, from this Linux x86 underscore 64 path, you have to use cp, and you have to mention this whole path you have to mention in the command. Let's see how to do that. Okay, we will go here and lsfnl, check here the files are copied. I can see from here also. Let's close this, and I need now the SAP car. So let's see how to do that. So to do that, I'm in a single command. I'm going one step back and coming to that path. Let me show you how. So from here to, actually I am here, from here to one step back, and I'm going one step front. For that I use command called cd dot dot one step back slash, and the next step is kernel, where it is, this one, linux 86 underscore 64. See, now I am in that path. What I need only SAP car. So I will give -l SAP car, then only that will be displayed. The command you have to give like this. From that folder or that mount directory, you have to use cp the file, and where it has to go, this path. That's why I used pwd here to just copy like this and enter. Now again I'm going same thing from Linux 86 to here one step back and here one step front. So the same command I use cd dot dot slash, sorry, linux underscore linux, sorry, kernel 600 I have to go, sorry, oh yeah, kernel 600 I have to go again. So see this, I am in kernel 600. I copied one file right from here. See, that file came. But one thing is, when I when I perform unzip, one more SAP car will create, and this SAP car will do some process at that time that will create. So that will be unable to override this, and you may get some termination without proper uncare. That is the reason better to rename this SAP car. So I use mv command to rename this. Something I use like this. So that is also done. Now the simplest third step in the kernel upgrade pre-step is uncare the or unzip the files by using SAP char. Here SAP char is SAP char one, so you should put that -xvf. The first one you have to uncare is SAP exe, and enter. So when it says like this, because do this, so that SAP exe files are completing. So once that is done, simply put SAP exe db files and enter. So db files also uncarried. Now I need to check the current kernel version of this folder. So to check this folder, put dot slash, because if you don't put dot slash, you will get, if you don't put this, you will get the global kernel version. I don't want global kernel. I want current folder files related kernel version. So I'm checking. This is showing 600. Okay, that is good. We need this version only. So till here I'm done with pre-steps.